Hey, everybody, and welcome to Nola 25, a podcast where we sit down with Christian leaders from across the city, hear their stories, and discuss what it looks like to do ministry here in New Orleans. Today, we're here with Pete Harbin, director of Mission Lab. Pete, so good to sit down with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Pete, to start off, why don't you tell us where you're from and how you ended up in the city of New Orleans?
Okay. I'm originally from Northport, Alabama, right outside Tuscaloosa. Grew up there, went to church there, and everything. And then after college, decided I wanted to take a couple more classes just to learn a little bit more. I was working with a missions organization there. And so I started 2 years of the seminary up there online and through the extension center. And then got to trying to take the languages and couldn't do that online
Yeah.
and stuff. So decided to move down here in 2014. And so moved to New Orleans January of 2014.
Gotcha. So when you started taking seminary classes, were you like at the master's level at that point, or were you taking? Okay, I got you.
I graduated with my undergrad from the University of Alabama.
Sweet. So once you got down here to New Orleans, how did the connection with Mission Lab, like how did that come up?
So I just turned in a resume at the seminary, and then in January, and then it wasn't until May that they called me for an interview. That Mission Lab's a ministry of the seminary, and so they got my resume through them and called me to come on as part-time as the administrative assistant.
Okay. Had you heard of Mission Lab before you actually like got to New Orleans?
No, when I got called for the interview, it was the first time I'd ever heard of it, so I had to go like Google what is Mission Lab.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you show up in New Orleans really just to kind of, I guess pursue theological education as you're like moving toward, I guess how God was calling you, and then God just put Mission Lab in front of you is like this, hey, here it is. And have you been involved with Mission Lab vocationally ever since then?
Yeah. So I started out part-time in 14 and then went full-time in 15.
Gotcha.
And graduated from the seminary December of 15 and stayed on full-time with Mission Lab in the seminary.
That's dope. That's really cool. So for those who may not know, can you talk about I guess how Mission Lab got started, and then what is like the purpose of Mission Lab? Why does it exist?
Yeah. So it got started in 2000 as a ministry of the seminary. So Alan Jackson was the youth professor here at the seminary. And so he was seeing like, hey, youth are needing something to do and stuff, and the city's a great place to come and serve. And then they had some empty dorm buildings, and so they kind of partnered together and created Mission Lab to give use for those buildings, but also just to have a place where youth groups could come serve here in the city, and it kind of grew from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as the director, what does your role sort of look like?
So I get to do a variety of things and talking to groups about coming down and serving in the city, what that would look like for them, helping plan out like our schedules of when, like who's going to preach for us on certain weeks, or the band and stuff like that. But also right now helping plan ministry sites for groups and where they're going to serve and stuff. And so kind of just a variety of different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you guys, I know that you guys have a lot of work that involves like basically sending teams out to go and do work in the city. Mm-hmm. Do you guys primarily partner with like compassion ministries for that, or churches, or a little bit of both? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So we have groups that we try to partner everyone with the local church or church plant and do that. And we also do compassion ministries, but we have other times like during the summer where we just send groups out to local parks to trying to do like backyard Bible studies with the kids in parks that may not have anything going on. And then we send groups to prayer walk throughout the city, and construction. We have a lot of homeowners that call us that get our name from other homeowners or from other organizations that we partner with, that they'll call us, and then we'll see about sending a group to come out and help them do different things.
Gotcha. Man, that's really cool. So you kind of actually just like talked about this just now, but so I guess the typical Mission Lab trip, is there like a typical amount of time that it tends to last?
Yeah. So summer, we have program dates of Sunday to Friday.
Okay.
So that's like our typical for the summer. And we have some program dates in the spring as well. But outside of that, we have groups that come in for a long weekend. They may come in like Thursday and leave on Sunday, or, come in Saturday, leave Tuesday or something like that. Outside of the summer, it's really whatever the groups want to do when they can come and their availability.
Gotcha. So it tends to be anywhere from like 2 or 3 days to like at a max like 7 or 8 days. Is
Yeah.
that kind of the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about like a week long kind of experience. Like what might that typically look like? Maybe like for Mission Lab summer.
Yeah, so typical summer is come in on Sunday, check in, then we do dinner, and then we have worship that night. And then Monday through Thursday, we'll do breakfast, and then you'll go out and serve in different parts of the city. So the leader will kind of tell us, hey, we'd like our groups to have opportunities to do kids ministry or construction or compassion ministries with the food bank or something like that, or homeless ministry. And we'll try to build a schedule before they get here of giving them opportunities to do some of those things or as many as we can. And we'll send that to them a month ahead of time so they'll kind of know, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. And they can plan for that. And then, so most of the day they're out serving. And then we do dinner each night. And then Tuesdays and Thursday nights for youth groups, we have worship those nights. And then Monday and Wednesday nights are a little bit more free for them, where they can go out in the city and see stuff or go do some touristy things and stuff. And then most of them leave Friday morning.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So many of our listeners may not know that recently GenSend, which is the North American Mission Board's sort of like college, I guess, bring college students to the cities type initiative, they're partnering up with Mission Lab. Can you tell us a little bit about that partnership and what it's going to look like in New Orleans?
Yeah. So we got to do a couple in the spring, or well, 1 week in the spring before COVID hit. And we've done a couple weekends this fall. But so like the spring, it's a little bit different. They don't come in on Sunday. They come in on Saturday and they stay till Thursday. That way they get an opportunity to go to a church plant on Sunday morning. We still do worship on Sunday nights, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, so that they can leave Thursday morning. So they have those opportunities. And then we try to partner them with church plants and different ministries in the city to do other things as well, like Baptist Friendship House or Grace of the Green Light and stuff. And so they also on Saturday nights, either Saturday or Monday, depending on the week, get to do a Catch the Vision tour. So they can kind of learn more about the history of the city and ways that they could be a part of the city if they, if someone chose to move down here to serve, to live and, do their career here.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So one thing that stuck out to me, we were working together for one of the fall trips, and we were just chatting some, and I remember asking you, like, is this, like, you're director of Mission Lab, is this what you want to do, like, for the rest of your life? Like, it kind of like, what's the, like, do you have a next step in mind? And I remember you saying, like, this is what I want to do. I thought that was so cool that, like, you're just, like, in this place of, like, you're in this job that you love. What's your favorite thing about your role as director?
Yeah, I think just seeing people come down and serve and getting to talk to some of them as they go back home and seeing how it changed them back home. And like, they'll tag us and send us videos of like, hey, we did this at Mission Lab and now we're doing this back home. And then talking to a lot of students that come back either the next year or they come back as like summer staffers or they go to the seminary and stuff like that. And like how talking to them and hearing about how Mission Lab changed their life and they decided to serve God through that and continuing in what they were doing.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So if church or an individual like wanted to get involved with Mission Lab, like what would be some steps that they would need to take in order to do that?
Yeah, so you can check out our website for if it's a church, and we've got different dates on there for like program dates in the spring and the summer and the fall some. So if any of those dates work, you can actually just register and do everything online. But you can also, if you say, hey, none of these dates work for us, we'd rather come this week or this weekend, you can do that through the website or you can give us a call and we can help with that as well. So those are some ways like just to get a group coming. College students, we hire college students in the summer to work with us for the entire summer so they can come down, serve in the city and help disciple the youth groups that come through the summer. And so if they wanted to do that, you can find that information on our website or you can give us a call and we can send you an application about that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Here's a question I have for you. So Mission Lab is unique in the city. I think in that, as I think through like ministries in the city, I think of like churches who are like reaching out in their communities. I think of compassion ministries who like are typically specializing in these, certain things. Mission Lab has this, I feel like this unique, I guess, role of mission in the city. I was going to ask you, how do you see Mission Lab fitting into like what God is doing, big picture in New Orleans?
Yeah. So ideally, some of those ways would be giving them extra hands when they're trying to do different events and stuff, and coming down to help. If a church planner is trying to do a big event, but if you're a new church start, you don't necessarily have a ton of stuff. So like having a team come down and be able to help them put on this event to get more people to come to hear about the church and make a connection with the church in that community. So that's one way to try to help do that.
So Pete, one of the opportunities that you get to, I guess, sort of have as a Mission Lab student is to be a part of Catch the Vision tour in the city. Can you tell us about those tours?
Yeah, so part of our partnership with GenSend was when we have college groups in, they get to do a CTV tour, Catch the Vision, with George, and go around to the different parts of the city to kind of learn about the history and stuff, and to see different ways that they could be involved in the city and talk about different church plants and stuff like that. And this coming summer, we're going to do that with our juniors and seniors in high school. They're going to have an opportunity on Monday nights to kind of join in on that and go do see a CTV tour, learn about the history of the city, learn about different church plants and how they can be involved in that, but also have Level College come and hear about studying here in the city and moving here, studying here, and serving here throughout their college experience as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember, I don't know, I've been on several Catch the Vision tours with George Ross throughout the years, and it's amazing how he kind of like, he changes it up a little bit every time as he continues to learn. It's a really, really cool experience. And I don't know, it's like he's learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like every time he does one, he's learning. And so it's like, you get this opportunity to, hear about the city, but I think also to like jump in on this experience of a planter pastor in the city, like learning the city more and more. And so it's a really cool thing. So I guess related to the city, Mission Lab, I think, has a unique role missionally in the city. I guess it doesn't necessarily fit into the box of like a compassion ministry. It doesn't fit into the box of church. Talk some about how you see Mission Lab fitting into what God is doing in the city at large.
Yeah. So our goal for like having some of our groups come down is to partner them with church plants or different ministries in the city. And so like when they're partnering with their church plant, we're hoping that they're able to, one, not only just encourage that planner, but also when the planner's trying to make connections with people in their community and stuff, this is just extra hands to do that, where it's putting on a block party for them or helping pass out flyers because they're going to have a 4th of July event or Easter event or something like that. We try to have groups come down and serve in that way with the different churches and stuff. When we do like the summers I talked about, sending groups to different parks and stuff like that, we try to get them every day to collect the information of those students so that we can pass it off to a church that's in that neighborhood so they can do follow-up and stuff like that. So really just trying to help the churches find different ways to get to know people in their area as we can.
So Pete, one thing I've realized as I've been thinking about your role in the city is that you're like all over New Orleans. Like that's your job, is to send people all over New Orleans to, in a sense, even build relationships with like pastors, ministers all over New Orleans. And I would imagine that in that you probably have as deep insight as just about anybody into like, I guess kind of like what makes New Orleans tick. So I don't know, if you were talking to somebody who's never been to New Orleans before and you had to explain to them like, what is New Orleans? Or maybe even like, who is New Orleans? What sort of makes the city like what it is? What would you say?
So for me, New Orleans is different than any city I've ever lived in. I've lived a couple different places. And so it's just very unique, very, sorry.
No, it's good.
It's just very different and hard at a lot of places. Like different areas are like different little towns sometimes. And like just getting to know people, like they can tell you what high school they went to, and people know, like people that are from here based on their high school, like they know where they live and stuff like that. And like, it's just unique like that. It's different from other towns. So that's one unique thing. And people are proud of the city. You know, a lot of like coming here before I came here, didn't necessarily want to move to New Orleans. Kind of wanted to come get my education and move away. But I think spending time here, getting to know the people, like you really fall in love with it. And there's so much diversity in the city. There's so much to do and learn that like it's really unique in that way that there's always some part of the city I haven't been to yet and I haven't learned from. I know when I first moved down here and was working with Mission Lab, I had a lot of people that they helped me see different parts of the city and learn the city because they had grown up here. And so I think being able to have that has influenced me in my joy and love of the city and the different parts of it.
That's awesome. So speaking of loving the city, obviously, like one of the best things about New Orleans is the food. One thing we've asked pretty much everybody that we've had on the podcast, give your 3 favorite places to eat in the city.
Okay, so they're different for different reasons. So I like wings. So Jay's Creole Wings and Chicken and Watermelon both have really good wings, and they have different deals. Chicken and Watermelon is like Monday through Thursday lunch, has a good deal. Jay's All Day Wednesday has good deals on wings.
I love chicken and watermelon. Have you actually had like the watermelon wings there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah. Those and the 0017th are
your
really
favorite.
good.
That's what I got last time I went. So yeah, they're really good.
They're really good. They have a group that's down like Mulots. Down close to the quarter. They have the Cajun dancing and stuff. So I think that's a unique experience for people that haven't been here before. Yeah, those are 2 of my favorite. And then I like Velvet Cactus Tex-Mex.
Okay, yeah,
So.
Velvet Cactus is good.
Yeah.
Good Tex-Mex. We've got 2 really good Tex-Mex places here. We've got that place, and we also have Superior Grill, which is like
that one's really
that
good
place
too.
is really good. It's really good. It's awesome. Okay, so how can listeners be praying for you and for, I guess, Mission Lab in general?
Yeah. So with COVID, we weren't allowed to have any teams down. So really until October. So we're just now getting back where we're having teams come and stuff. So praying for that and the organization of getting that and having those teams come and where they're going to serve in the different areas of the city. And as we move forward, hoping that cases don't spike here, everything stays good so that we can continue to have teams come down and serve and partner with different churches here.
Awesome. Well, man, Pete, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. And it's been really good, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thank y'all so much for joining us for NOLA 25. We want to thank a few different people for making this podcast possible. Firstly, the New Orleans Baptist Association, who allows us to use this space. We also want to thank Lakeshore for providing us with this equipment. And finally, we want to thank Abby Guidry, our production assistant. Thank y'all so much for watching.